Hey everyone, it's Mr. Montgomery again. Today we're on page 217. That's 217. And we're on lesson 5-2. So today's lesson might be a little awkward at first, but I promise you it's not super duper scary. I will show you guys all the tricks that I know, the tricks that I use, and hopefully this lesson won't be very difficult. And I'm hoping that you guys are just going to catch on, think that's fun, easy, all good stuff. So if you're not on page 217, pause the video, make sure you get that page in your robot turtle book first. But if you are on that page, well, we're just going to keep on chugging along. And I'm going to explain our big idea for today's lesson. So for today's lesson, we are going to be talking about how a number sentence can be true or false. And you're probably thinking, what are you talking about? We're not asking a question here where you need to select true or false. No, but what we are doing is we will be looking at a problem and we need to know if it's true. So for example, now what I'm going to write, do not write. I'm going to write down some examples so that way you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. So let's say we have a number sentence that says 1 plus 1 equals 2. Would we say that this number sentence is true or is it false? Does 1 plus 1 equal 2? What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Well, 1 plus 1 does equal 2. So we would definitely circle the word true for this one. One way you can think about this is think about the equal sign as like a fence. Okay? And how many dots would I draw on this side of the fence? Well, there is 1 dot for 1 and 1 dot for 1 again. And how many dots would I make for the number 2? Well, for 2 I would have 2 dots. Now, does each side of the fence have the same number of dots? It does, because we have 2 right here and 2 on this side. That's why this statement is true. Now, if I were to change one small thing, let's say that instead, I'm going to just take all this out real quick. Let's say that instead of 1 plus 1 equals 2, I wrote 1 plus 1 equals 3. And you might be asked, is this number sentence true or false? Again, if you use the little fence, we'll call it the fence method, because we're building like a little fake wall between our numbers. So again, how many dots do I draw for 1? Well, I'll just draw 1, right? And then I have another 1, so I make another dot. And then on the other side of the fence, I have the number 3. So I'm going to make 3 dots. Now, would we be correct in saying that 1 plus 1 equals 3? No way. This would be false. Because we know that if we have 1 and 1, we actually get 2, not 3. So no way this would be true. And we're going to see a whole bunch of other ones. So let me show you guys some different examples again. Just erase this real quick. Okay, maybe we don't have just a simple number sentence like that. Maybe we have something that says, you know what? I have 10 on this side of the fence equals 10. And if it helps, you can think of this equal sign meaning same, the same as. Okay, so I'm going to make a little arrow. So if it helps, you can think of this equal sign just saying the words the same as. Is 10 the same as 10? Well, it sure is. And you could even draw the dots if that helps. Well, I have 10 on this side of the fence, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, do I have the same number of dots on each side of the fence? I do. So we would say that this is true. That 10 is the same as 10. But what if I changed it just a little bit? What if instead of 10 equals 10, what if it said 10 equals 15? Is this true? Is 10 the same as 15? No way, because we know that 15 is a bigger number. And again, if it helps, you can draw the fence. And you can draw your dots. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, do I have the same number of dots on each side of the fence? No way, I don't. You can see that there's definitely more dots over here. So there's no way that this number sentence is true. It is absolutely false. All right? And we're going to even see some number sentences that might look a little confusing. And one of those could be, let me erase this here. Oh. Okay, let's say that we have a number sentence that says 1 plus 1 equals 3 minus 1. Now, this is an example of something that would be much tougher. So there's a few ways we can think about this. And again, I'm going to suggest that you just kind of, where this equal sign is, just use the words same as. Is 1 plus 1 the same answer as 3 minus 1? So you can use the fence method again. I have 1 for one dot and 1 dot for another 1, right? But over here we have subtraction. So we would just use subtraction. I can make my 3 dots. And how many am I taking away? I'm taking away just 1. Now, do I have the same number of dots on each side? Well, let's check. I have 1, 2 over here. So my answer is 2. Over here, I have 1, 2. So my answer on this side of the fence is also 2. So did they give us the same answer? They did. So we could say, so is 2 equal to 2? It sure is. So when you have a problem like this where you have 2 different number sentences, they might look completely different. They might not even be in the same fact family, but they can still have the same answer. And if each side of the fence has the same answer, then it must be true. Okay? So we're going to go through this list over here that this girl is holding, and we're going to circle all of the number sentences that are true. And we're going to put an X over the ones that are not true. All right? So we'll do the first couple together, and then I'll let you try a couple on your own as well. I'll just make some space for us to do some work. And remember, you have all this space to use if you need it. If one of these looks a little too difficult, you have some working space. I would suggest that you don't use the entire space for one problem and say, you know what, does 5 equal 11 minus 6? Now, if I write this big, I won't have any room for the other problems that I might need to check. Okay, so we'll try to do our best to write as small as we can in our workspace. Alright, so our first problem says 5 equals 11 minus 6. So what we're going to do is pretty small. If you need to write it, cool, we can. If not, then we don't have to. I know some of us are very good with math, doing mental math and stuff like that. So I'll write it kind of small up here. 5 equals 11 minus 6. So if I draw a little fence, how many dots do I make for 5? Well, I need 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what about 11 minus 6? We don't know if this is true, because we are going into all the work that is already done, and we're learning to check our work very well. So we know that this side of the fence has 5. Now, 11 minus 6 is subtraction. So I can also just make dots over here. I can make 11 dots. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now I need to cross out 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now let's bring all of our work down here. So over here, I still have 5. And does that equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are not crossed out? Is 5 the same as 5? It definitely is. It sure is. So what are we going to do with this first number sentence? Are we going to circle it or cross it out? Well, if the numbers match up on each side, we're going to circle it. Now, when you get more comfortable with doing your math mentally or even with a number line, I know that the more you practice, the faster we get. And you'll be doing stuff a little bit differently. You don't have to use the dots. If using a number line works, we can totally do that too. So I'll show you guys really quick how we can use a number line to help us out. So another way you might want to solve these is just by writing the answer to each side right below by using a number line. So with 5, we don't have, any real work to do. So we just bring that number down. And on this side, we can solve 11 minus 6, right? We could just use our number line for that. Start at 11, and we jump back 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I landed on 5. And right here, is 5 the same as 5? It sure is. We got the same answer as before. So I'll leave that number line up top for you in case you need it, but also feel free to use the number line on your desk. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to try this next one right below. Just make some space here. And don't forget, if you're using this working space, try not to write too big. Now this next one's going to be a little goofy because we have to completely solve both sides of this. But if you know your fact families, it might be really easy. So we have 5. Oh, you know what? Totally forgot something. There we go. Okay, so I have 5 plus 6 equals 6 plus 5. Now I'll show you guys the very careful way of doing this, and then I'll show you the easy way of doing this, okay? And the easy way is only going to be for problems that are very, very similar to this one. So, again, we can have our fence. 5 plus 6, I need to know what 5 plus 6 equals. I like to draw these little lines to show that I am combining the two numbers. So 5 plus 6, well, here's 5. 6 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we get 11. So does 11 equal, let's see, 6 plus 5? Sorry about that. Let's see. Well, let's check it. 6 plus 5. Start on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I landed on 11. So is 11 the same thing as 11? It definitely is. So should we put a circle around this very long equation, or put an X on top? We're going to circle it because both numbers are the same. And if you know your fact families really well, you'll see that these two numbers, they just swap places, so they're actually in the same fact family. Another way you could kind of picture things in your head, if you do that like I do, I like to kind of picture like this equal sign is like a scale. If this helps, don't worry about it then. But if it does help, maybe it'll just help things click a little bit. So this is my little drawing of a old school scale, okay? If the numbers are the same, then they should be perfectly leveled with each other. But if they're not the same, then it won't be balanced, right? And you might have something that looks kind of like this. Like if we had 15 and 10, right? They would not be balanced on a scale, so they won't be even. They won't be the same thing. But 11 and 11, they're perfectly balanced, so they are equal. And I will be using this as an example in the classroom too, if you need to see an actual scale working. If that helps, just kind of take a peek up, and I'll be using one for the entire class as well. Alright, let's give this next one a try. Okay, next it says 7 equals 7. I'm going to let you guys try this one on your own. Is 7 the same as 7? If it is, then go ahead and circle it. If it's not, then go ahead and put an X over top. Alright, so what did you do for 7 equals 7? Is that true, or is it not true? Well, 7 definitely is the same as 7, so we need to definitely circle that. Alright, let's try this next one. 4 plus 5. They're trying to tell us that 4 plus 5 equals 8. And we need to check the work of the people that made this book to see that, to make sure they did a good job and that they know how to do their math. Because I think they might be making quite a few mistakes. So let's check it out. So we have 4 plus 5 equals 8. Again, you can have your little fence and rewrite your equal sign. We're not changing the 8, so it gets brought on down. But when we combine the 4 and the 5, what do we get? I want you to go ahead and use your number line to add 4 and 5 together and write down the total right below. Alright, if you're not done with that, then pause the video and take your time. Then hit play. But if you're all set, let's kind of check it. Okay, 4 plus 5, start on 4, make 5 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I landed on 9 right here. So 4 plus 5 equals 9. Is 9 the same as 8? What do you think? If you think it's the same, then circle 4 plus 5 equals 8. If you think they made a mistake and that this is not true, put an X over top. So what'd you do? Did you circle it or put an X? Well, I'm hoping that you all put a little X on top, because this is absolutely not true. If 4 plus 5 equals 9, then it's definitely not the same as 8. So no way. And then we have one left. It says 9 plus 2 equals 11. So let's go ahead and give this one a try. We have 9 plus 2 equals 11. You can draw your little fence and make sure that the numbers match up. Remember, the 11 just gets brought on down. And now you need to just solve what 9 plus 2 is to make sure it's the same. So go ahead and check it on your number line or using some dots if you want. Go ahead and double check that to make sure that the people that made this book did not make a mistake. Alright, if you're not done, pause the video as always. But if you are, let's check your work. So, 9 plus 2, well, I can just use the number line. 9, I have 2 jumps. 1, 2. I landed on 11. So is 11 the same as 11? Well, yeah, it's the same exact number. So we got to make sure that we circle 9 plus 2 equals 11. Alright, so hopefully you're starting to get a decent grasp over what we're doing and with how to determine if each number sentence is true or not true. So we're going to do a couple more practice problems on the next page. So let's go ahead and turn to page 218 and do a couple more practice ones together. Alright, so here is what page 218 looks like. Alright, so you should see that little boy at the very top, and he's kind of explaining how this whole thing works. He's just re-saying what I've been saying. So, I know they kind of did number 1 for you in your books already. I want to walk through it like I always do, because they made theirs look quite a bit different than what we were doing. But I did also make a number line, so that way we can still use a number line to help us solve them. And again, if that little fence helps, you can redraw it, and we're just going to write the answers down below. Alright, so no biggie. So let's see what they did down here with the picture, just so it doesn't look like a whole bunch of confusing gibberish to you. What they did was they took 5 plus 2 and put that here. Okay? And then the 9 minus 3 is on the second line down here. So you can see that they have 5 red and they added 2 more yellow. And for this bottom row, they drew 9 red and then crossed out 3. Now, yes, we could use this picture to help us, and we will, but afterwards I do want to do the number line just so that method also stays fresh in your head in case you want to use that instead. So you can see on this top row we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 up top, and down here we have can't count the X'd out ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so based on the picture, the first number sentence gives us 7, the bottom one gives us 6. Say we didn't really trust this picture. Maybe we're thinking they made another mistake, and we want to use our number line. We can totally do that. So 5 plus 2, here's 5, make 2 jumps, 1, 2, I landed on 7. So 5 plus 2 is 7. I'm just going to write the numbers on each side of the fence, that's all. And then 9 minus 3, I start on 9, and take away 3. 1, 2, and 3, I land on 6. So 9 minus 3 is definitely 6. Now, are the numbers on this? Are these numbers the same on both sides of the fence? No, one is bigger than the other. So is this true that 5 plus 2 is the same as 9 minus 3? No way. So we circle false. Alright. I do actually want to, once again, I want us to do this convince me problem, which says 4 equals 11 minus 6. So here's a 4 here. I'm just going to rewrite it bigger so it's easier to work with. 4 equals 11 minus 6. And again, we can make that fence down the middle because each sides of the equal sign must have the same answer. So down here we just have 4. I bring my equal sign down. And now I just need 11 minus 6, and I need to solve this. We can solve 11 minus 6 using a number line. We do this all the time. So I start on 11, and I jump. Do I jump forward towards the 14, or do I jump backwards towards the 2? Well, since we have this minus sign, I need to jump backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I landed on 5. So now we know that 11 minus 6 is 5. Are these two the same? What do you think? Check mark for yes or an X for no? Which one do you think it is? Is 4 the same as 5? Absolutely not. So this would be a false equation. They do not have the same number of dots on each side, right? Because over here we would have 4 dots, over here we would have 5 dots. And if it was a scale, it would be tipping over towards the heavy side. Alright. But now I'm going to let you try one completely on your own, guys, okay? So number 2, you can use the picture that they gave you if you like. Just remember that the 7 is this top right here, and the 8 minus 1 is the bottom. You can also use the number line either on the screen or on your desk to help you solve this. And if it helps, you can rewrite the number sentence at the bottom a little bit bigger if you need to. Actually, let me write that a little bit smaller just so I have some working space. 7 minus equals 8 minus 1. Because I like the fence method personally. I like it. If you have a different method, that's fine. But go ahead and solve number 2 on your own. Make sure you circle the word true if it's correct and it does equal out, or false if, both sides of the fence just aren't the same. Alright, if you're still working on it, pause the video and make sure you take your time. If you are finished, we're going to go through this together and so you can check your work and make sure that you understand it. So what I like to do is, well, the 7 stays the same, so 7 stays here. Bring down the equal sign. Now I need to find out what 8 minus 1 is. Now remember, I just brought the 7 down because it's not going to change. We're not adding or taking away from it. And for 8 minus 1, well, I'm going to start on 8 and make 1 jump backwards. 1. And I land on 7. So, is 7 the same as 7? Well, yeah, it's the same exact number. So, of course, we would circle true. If you use the picture, you can see that there's 7 up top. At the bottom, you have 8, and then they crossed out 1. And if it helps, you can make these circles hold hands. Give them a friend. And you see that they all have friends. So, of course, it is the same. It's correct. Alright, let's just do one last one together. I'm going to let you guys just get one more practice one on your own for us to check. It's going to be on page 219. Alright, so here's page 219. So now we have no pictures at all. I did make a number line at the very top. And of course, in between each equal sign, you can of course put a little fence if that helps you. If not, you don't have to. But I want you guys to go ahead and try number 3 on your own. Do the totals for each side match? True or false? Okay, so go ahead, take your time, solve this one. So on one side we have 5 plus 5. The other side we have 6 plus 4. Alright, so if you're still working on this, hit that spacebar, pause the video. If you're done, let's check your work. Okay, so first we have 5 plus 5. We need to know what this equals. Remember, I just put these little kind of like arrows just so I know I'm combining two numbers. That's all. So 5 plus 5, well, if I start on 5 here, and then jump 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I land on 10. So I know that 10 is on this side. And what about 6 plus 4? Start on 6, and I make 4 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. I land on 10 again. Now remember, I jumped to the right because I have plus signs for each of these, which means I have to make bigger numbers. So I landed on 10 again. Do I have the same number on both sides? I sure do. So this equation is true. Go ahead and try number 4 completely on your own. This one should not take you nearly as long. Should be a pretty quick one. Alright, if you're still working on number 4, hit the spacebar, pause the video, take your time. When you're ready, hit play. Now for my friends that are done, let's check it out. So the 9 on this side isn't going to change because it's all by itself. So I'm just going to bring them on down. And now all I really need to solve is 9 minus 1. So put my start dot on 9. And I look at the sign in the middle. So which direction do I need to go for a minus sign? Am I going to be going all the way over here towards the big 16 or way down here towards the little 1? I'm going to be jumping towards that little 1 because when we have a minus, we're taking away, and we're taking away just by 1 jump. So we jump and 1. And I land on 8. So is 9 the same as 8? No, not at all. 9 is not the same as 8, so we would circle false for this one. Okay? So I want you to go ahead and do number 5 all the way through number 11. So you're going to do 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Completely on your own. I will be checking your workbooks when you're done. And I will let you go ahead and make a pile on the back table when you're completely done only. After you're done, then you can go on Pink Cat and practice some math facts. Alright? So if you're confused about anything, please let me know. But other than that, I hope that this really helped. And I hope this isn't as scary as what you might have thought it was at the very beginning. Alright? So, I hope you guys are doing great. I will see you next time, and I hope you have a great day.